Welcome to Unfold, where we see with a different eye and of course visualize with a colorful mind. My name is Hildah Lumati. Today I'm here with the lovely Mary Mumo, the founder of Build Her Confidence. And today we're going to talk about menstrual health and why it is very important. And we will also touch on teenage pregnancies. Karibuni sana.
Hi, my name is Mary Mumo. I'm the founder of Build Her Confidence Initiative. I'm a sexual and reproductive health advocate, and I'm also an IT technician by profession.
Karibu sana, Mary, to Unfold. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. And you're here to share knowledge when it comes to, menstrual health, and also we're going to touch on teenage pregnancies. But before we get into that, you are the founder of Build Her Confidence. It's an initiative. I would like you to tell us what you do. What is the initiative about?
Well, thank you, Hilda, for having me. Build Her Confidence Initiative is a community-based organization registered in Kibra, Nairobi. We advocate for sexual and reproductive health and rights, and our major focus is on menstrual management, mental health, contraceptives, and we also build skills. Yeah.
And when you talk about menstrual hygiene, as ladies, tunajua tu una have periods, if I can use that word.
Yeah.
I'm a menses. And then there is health attached to the word menstrual health,
Yes.
Just take us through it, because we really need to be healthy when it comes to that area, but that is what most girls and women ignore. So why is menstrual health important for us?
Well, I'll start by explaining what menstrual health is.
Kindly.
Now, that's the state of the well-being of physical, mental, and emotionally fit during menstruation. And that's very important, because you find that some cases whereby if you're not menstrually, I would say menstrual health-wise, you are in risk of getting UTIs. You're also in risk of getting cervical cancer. There is also what we call toxic shock syndrome, which is brought about by long usage of sanitary towels.
When you talk about long usage of sanitary towels, inamaanisha nini, Mary? How long are we supposed to use our sanitary towels?
Actually, there are cases whereby you find a girl is using sanitary towels for more than 6 hours, which is not okay. We're supposed to change our, not only sanitary towels, but menstrual products. There are many. We have the tampons, we have the menstrual cups, we have the sanitary towels that we know. So when it comes to menstrual products, we're supposed to change them between 4 to 6 hours. Depending with your flow. Yeah, for those people with heavy flow should not stay with it for more than 4 hours. But for those others who have the, how do I call it, light flow, should change it not in more than 6 hours. Yeah.
Let's continue. We're talking about something toxic shock syndrome.
Yes. Yeah, so that's about it. It's brought about by long usage of sanitary products, like menstrual products. Yeah.
And why is it important for us to understand that menstrual health is very important?
Well, one of the importance is that it keeps us away from urinary tract infections, whereby most ladies don't realize it, not unless it's too late, or rather not unless they have started showing the signs, whereby some start feeling the itchiness, others start experiencing the change in vaginal fluid, which as well, most ladies don't understand the different types of vaginal fluids. So I would say that's one of the importance. The second one is that we have reduced cases of cervical cancer, because you understand that when the infections recur and they go untreated, then we leave our bodies, or rather ladies leave their bodies to the risk of getting cervical cancer. Yeah.
So how do we maintain good hygiene when it comes to our menstrual periods? How do we maintain good hygiene, and what are some of the do's and don'ts during this period?
Well, that's such a good question, and I'll start by what we know. As we know, we should keep our undergarments clean and dry. we have those girls, or rather those ladies, who probably wash them, hang them, hiding them in their bedrooms. Others hide them under towels, heavy towels, I mean. So it's always okay to let our undergarments dry in the sun and to always keep them clean.
Come on.
That means there are no risks of infections. Sababu, you know, ukiosha panty, then hang it kwa hidden area, inakuwa,
Yes,
inaanza kukua stuffy nini. So kuna zile infections zenye zinaweza come na hiyo.
Kweli.
Yeah, the other thing, as I mentioned, tukianza, we need to learn how to change our sanitary products oftenly, between the 4 to 6 hours. And the other thing is that we need to keep our pubic area clean and dry always. You know, si mtu akienda akioga kidogo unakimbia kuvaa na you not dry. It's always good to make sure that you're dry vizuri. So that means hakutakuwa na, you know, kuna hiyo vaginal fluid ikitoka inachanganyika na hiyo wetness. So unapata ina create some sort of infections. So it's always good to make sure that we are dry down there.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we need also to know the kind of undergarments that we're wearing.
Oh yes, talk about that.
Yeah,
that is
because
true.
in our generation we want to do nylon, you know, and it's always advisable that we use cotton made undergarments.
Yes.
That means it absorb your vaginal fluid. If we do the nylon undergarments, of course haitakuwa absorbed. Instead itarudi na nyuma. And also we need to practice safe sex for those of us who are in that age, or rather for those of us who are doing it. Niseme, yeah. So we really need to make sure that we practice safe sex, to not have multiple partners. And also it's always good, I know this might come to us as a shock to many, but it's always good not to have sex during menstruation. Yeah, because of
it is even written in the Bible. It's you being unclean. It is in the Bible. You're not supposed to do it.
But I know you're not supposed to. If you do it, of course, you're exposing yourself to infections. So, yeah.
And when we talk about menstrual health, Mary, there is a rise in teenage pregnancies.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Leo unaamka unaona kwa news.
Yeah, true. Like, there is a time I saw a 7-year-old girl pregnant. So that,
and some of them, it's not even their fault. Some have been raped. Some have just been in that situation unknowingly. And some, it's actually their decision, you know. So there is a rise in teenage pregnancies, and I want us to talk about that. Why is there a rise? Do you think there's a problem somewhere?
There must be. Yeah, there must be a problem. And I would say, well, I usually say that the root causes should always be looked into. Like in Africa, or rather in Kenya, we have what we call the misogynic culture, whereby women or girls are seen as sex objects.
That is true.
And we also have the gender inequality.
Yes.
Which is something which is affecting us and also affecting our girls. These girls, most of them, it's not their fault to get pregnant at their age. Some are raped by close relatives, by their dads, by their uncles, by their brothers. So at some point, how do you even explain a case whereby this girl was impregnated by the dad, was impregnated by the uncle?
Because it is happening, my goodness.
Yes, so that's one of the main causes of teenage pregnancies. Then we also have things like puberty. Like there is a documentary I was watching, I think 2 weeks ago, whereby there is this girl, she was 12 years old, and she got pregnant because I would say because of poverty. They didn't have food at home, and the parents are not well off, so this girl met this jamaa and akamwambia ni aje, you know, me I'll buy you food nini. So this girl refused. Actually, I think it was aired by NTV. This girl refused. So the second morning, huyu msichana hajakula usiku, hajakula siku mzima. She goes back to that guy. Akamwambia ni aje, si ile maneno alafu ndio sasa tununue chakula. So you know, poverty is something else which is pushing girls to go and have sex ndio waweze kupata what they are after. And also poverty on the other end is also pushing the girls to go to that direction. Like right now, see kama zile enzi za kitambo, you know, I used to hear kitambo, there were no menstrual products zenye ziko kwa sasa. People used to use things like blankets, vitu zinapatikana. So right now, kuna hiyo pia pressure ya, I'm using tampons, I'm using pads, you know. So kuna wale wenye ambao sio privileged sana kununua hizo products.
Mimi hata nilikuwa naona tu government ingefanya ziko free. Guy, people are suffering.
Yeah, people are suffering. And I like what Ghana has done. Ghana has made is it tax free? Yeah, has made the sanitary products tax free. And najua ipo siku pia tutafika hapo, you know. Yeah, so unapata this girl cannot afford sanitary products, and so anaenda kwa huyo jamaa, unadanganywa na 50 bob, you're there, umepata mimba, unaanza kurudi tena kwa mama yako. So unapata kuna kashida mahali kwa hiyo maneno ya teenage pregnancy. So now you can imagine a baby bringing up another baby. Yeah. So unapata kuna hiyo mambo ya peer pressure. Then again we also have drug abuse. Of course there are girls who wanakuwa impregnated while on drugs. Like look at a case whereby msichana aende akunywe pombe, hajisikii, hajielewi. So the next thing anapatana na huyu jamaa, or rather it's someone the girl trusts. So anaenda anamlewesha kidogo, then akiona huyu, how do I call it, akiona amekuwa like she's drunk. So now the guy takes advantage of the situation. And unapata msichana hajajua what happened. So now going home after some few weeks, after some few months, and I realize, all is not well with me. So yeah.
Na tukiongelelea teenagers, who is a teenage really? From what age to what age?
Well, inafaa ikuwe ni from 13 to 19. But now in this issue of teenage pregnancies, as I just told you of the case of the 7-year-old girl, unapata sijui ni sisi tumebadilika kidogo on what we are eating ama our lifestyle nini. So unapata even a 9-year-old girl anaweza akapata mimba. Then again kuna ile lack of information.
I wanted even to mention that because lack of knowledge. So many people don't have the knowledge, and you find while you're growing up you're curious. You want to know who,
you want to explore.
Yes, talk about that.
So you find that there are communities whereby girls are not given the privilege, or rather parents don't sit with girls and talk to them about being a woman and what it takes, rather how life is. Unapata wazazi wameachia walimu
kweli
that space to talk about pregnancy and everything. More like ukishapeleka mtoto shule, mtoto ni wa mwalimu and you don't care what happens. So unapata kuna hiyo challenge whereby of course the teachers are doing a lot, but there is what you as parent should do. You have a duty to take in relation to your girl. So unapata kuna ile information ambayo hawapati. You know, in our times tukigrow, like for instance mimi, while I was growing up, ilikuwa ni ngumu sana your mother to even tell you. Of course I know kuna wale wenye walikuwa privileged that their mothers could tell them so. But mamako hata kukuambia kuna periods nini at this and such a age utapata periods. So unapata zingine tuna learn from shule.
Ni ukweli.
Una grow ukijua okay, uko shule umeanza kujua okay, at some point my breast will enlarge, my hips zita grow. You know kuna kitu inaitwa menstruation, haujui inakuja aje. So I think that's where now the parent should come in. Unapata in as much as shule wanafunzwa, they're not being taught about the sanitary products vizuri and probably how to use them. Probably maybe is it karibu niseme BHC, CBC wanazifunza, I don't know. But I think parents should come in. Onyesha tu msichana wako. Kuna ile age appropriate. Anza tu kumuonyesha pole pole, you know, unaweza ona hii, usishtuke like some of us walishtuka. Kama mimi vile nili receive my first menses, I think I was informed to. And honestly nilishtuka. Like what's happening? Sababu nilienda bafu kuoga kidogo. Okay. Something is happening sijui. So unarudi tena uelewi. You're there ni kama unaanza go into depression kidogo. Tunakumbuka in as much as mzazi hakuniambia nilisoma kitu fulani. So it's always good to pass information kwa hawa wasichana.
Ni ukweli. And when teenagers get pregnant, they are affected. I don't know how you handle such cases in your initiative. You will tell us about that, but they get affected, especially mentally. Kindly, let's talk about that part.
They are. Sababu unakuja unapata that msichana na wazazi sasa hawapatani kabisa. Now the parent is here blaming the child. The child is here blaming the mother. The child is also here. Why am I calling them the child? The teen mom is also here blaming the mwenye kumuimpregnate. So unapata kuna hiyo kind of conflict. So at some point unakuja unapata this girl is almost, or rather this girl is going into depression.
That is very true.
She doesn't have someone to talk to. Akienda huku kwa mzazi anamkelelesha. Akirudi huku kwingine to the person who impregnated her, hakuko sawa. So unapata kidogo amejikoil, she doesn't feel okay. And unapata pia anakuwa challenged kumlea huyo mtoto. You know, once you have a small baby and you've gone into depression, or rather if you're not okay, then unakuja unapata even this baby cannot breastfeed well. Reason, hauna enough production of milk. So unapata kuna hiyo enye wana feel hawako sawa mentally. There is also the issue of being threatened. Talking of threat, kuna msichana mahali whom I know was being threatened by someone who impregnated her. So unapata at some point the girls are being threatened, anaambiwa ukifanya hivi, you know, your family. Also unapata most of these girls wametoka from the disadvantaged families.
That is true.
And the perpetrators wanatoka from nizita well-up families. So unapata anamwambia if you do this, then this will happen. Ukienda kidogo ufanye hivi, sisi hata mkienda mtushtaki, the government cannot do anything about it. You know? So unapata wasichana kidogo wana feel threatened, wengine hata wanachapwa. So they don't feel okay, and they feel hawana zile safe spaces za kukimbililia. You know? So unapata kidogo these girls are not okay kabisa. Yeah.
And even when they grow up, unapata mtu akona hiyo stigma, haijamtoka. Some have gone through abortion.
Yes.
Some have suicidal thoughts.
Exactly.
Some feel this is the end of life. Being a teenage mother, I'm a child, I'm carrying another child. Hata haujamaliza shule, it is very devastating. And it is something that is happening like everywhere. Asubuhi unaamka unapata kwa news. Certain children wameshika mimba, watu wa shule. You know, it happens. And I don't know how we can do to stop, control, or rather avoid these teenage pregnancies. Is there a way?
Well, the best option would be abstinence.
Preach. Talk.
Lakini hawa wasichana
hawasikii kweli.
Mtu abstain, I think ni due to the peer pressure or something.
Kweli.
Mtu ameenda ameona hii direction uko sawa, anarudi. Na probably utapata huyu wa kwanza alikuwa mjanja. Maybe she has been introduced to contraceptives and all that. Anarudi anaambia mwingine, you know what, nimeenda experience hii iko sawa. Huyo mwingine knows nothing about it. Unakimbia hapo. Unapata si vile yule mwingine
alisema
alipata iko. So unapata that would be actually the best thing to abstain. But in this era, I would say it's the high time that we stop burying our heads under the sand and face the reality. We also need to introduce the CSE in schools, that's a comprehensive sexual education,
whereby
ilikuwa introduced kidogo, ikasemekana
irudishwe. That is very important, by the way.
Ikasemekana irudishwe, wakasema hiyo itakuja kufunza watoto now how to go to that direction. But I would say these girls already know what it takes, how it feels, what to expect there. So hata tunyamazeaje, they will still do it.
We are making it worse.
Yes. So I think it's the high time now the government and the Ministry of Health wajue vile watafanya and take this kind of education to the schools were introduced to ikuwe tu ni comprehensive, whereby unaanza kufunza tu mtoto akifika age ya kumwambia haufai kushikwa place fulani, ajua sifai kushikwa. So from there atajua how to keep herself. And also ni kama tumeingia sana kwa ladies tukasahau wanaume. So that's another thing yenye unapata men wanna feel these girls are being empowered, these girls wanaambiwa hivi na hivi na hatuambiwi. So kuna ile yenye niite kiburi, wanaona okay, so wacha tukimbie basi tufanye hivi, like we will do it because you've left us behind. So I think it's the high time now we need to bring about the issue of inclusivity. While we're talking about these things, we also need to include men. Make these men feel appreciated in the community. Sababu hapo ndipo utapata, if at all the man knows what it takes, then now they'll have to protect the girls. Utapata if at all it's a cousin and another cousin, a male and a she, utapata kuna vile anamcontrol kidogo, hata akiona the she ni kama anataka kujaribu some things, this guy yako, and this other man on the other side ako, because we've all been empowered, ako hapana, we should not do this, it's not okay. So we really need to bring about the issue of inclusivity. Then also we need to let women be. Let women access the medical health services that they need to access. Bringing about the issue of contraceptives. Sahi utapata msichana wa around 16 years old, she's sexually active, but anaenda hospitali, she knows kuna condoms, she knows kuna pills and the other methods of contraception, but she's not allowed to. Hapo kidogo akienda hata aseme anataka condoms, tunaanza kumwangalia ni kama like she's going to kill someone. So unaona anaanza kufeel, anakuwa intimidated. So ana go back ako, if this is happening, if I cannot access these services. So unapata ndipo pale pia ameenda amefanya hii kitendo, so ametoka hapo na mimba, and we now start blaming the girl again. And she alikuja vizuri akakuwa open hivi na hivi ndio anataka. So thanks to KNH, I think they have introduced the youth friendly clinics whereby these girls can go visit, get advice, rather pia wakitaka hizo ma contraceptives and all that. But pia unajua we also have to let those under 18 girls be. Hatuwezi waingililia sana, not unless now the parent ako willing to go to that extent. Well, as an advocate for the same, mimi huwa nasema sitawahi ambia msichana ako under 18 go for contraceptives.
That is actually
it will come back to and I also have to acknowledge that there is a big team behind my back looking at what Mary an advocate for nini. So I would say the best option is to abstain.
And I want you to tell the girls it is okay to say no. And stick to your no.
It's okay too. And of course they should not feel violated. They should not feel intimidated. Hawafai ku feel anything if they stand for a no. They own the consent. So if it's something they don't want, wako na right ya kusema no and stick by it. There are those who say no, but unataka no, kidogo umeguzwa, umeingia hapo, but now hiyo ya no na umeguzwa na hautaki, that's what we call sexual harassment. And it's a form of violence actually. You're being violated sexually, and you have the right to to report, or rather you have the right to speak. That's why we are here. There are very many organizations running as at now, and I can say all of them are safe spaces for girls. DM someone you see on social media advocating for the same. Tell them, iko hivi na hivi na hivi. Like Juzi I was talking to a girl. Allow me conceal the name. Yes. It's someone we've known each other kutoka kitambo, but it's like I'm her big sister. We're not sisters, I'm her big sister. So she came to me and told me, Mary, you know what, there is this Jama. This Jama has been around. She's not a teenager, actually, ni mtu mkubwa. But vile alikuja, it made me feel, oh, okay, so there is someone looking up to me. So alikuja huyu Jama, iko hivi, me, I've said no severally. It's like he wants to harm me, nini. So I told her, you have the right to report the case.
Yes.
And you have the right to stand by your no. Kama hautaki, and no one should make you feel little. Or rather, no one should make you feel not yourself. Feel forced, and no situation should force you or direct you to that side. Kama hautaki. Actually, you can imagine kitambo tulikuwa tunaogopa whereby kulikuwa na cases za ukimwi, so parents wangeacha watoto without the parents.
Yes.
So in this case pia imekuwa ni kama sasa ni vice versa. Imekuwa hawa watoto wenye waliachwa au hawa watoto wadogo wanaanza kulea watoto wengine. So inakuwa ni kama kuna mahali zina contradict kidogo. So yeah, as per your suggestion, or rather as per your quote, it's okay to say
no.
Yeah.
And there are so many girls who are watching. Of course, also men are watching, or boys. I just want you to take your time and talk to them. Just take your time and point out whatever you have not pointed out when it comes to menstrual hygiene. And also talk to those who are teenagers and they are pregnant.
Okay.
And also warn the teenagers and tell them about abstinence and why it's very important, like you've mentioned. So just talk around that area and just advise anyone who is watching.
Okay, I'll start with the teen girls. You know, I think due to lack of the information, there are many risks actually which comes with teenage pregnancies.
Yes.
You'll find that these girls will give birth to underweight babies. They are risking the lives of their babies.
Yes.
These babies might die due to some complications during pregnancy and during birth as well. And also there's teen moms are at a very high risk of dying during delivery.
Because your body is not even comfortable enough to give birth.
Ni kama ku bring in, you know, being pregnant, according to how I understand it, it's like bringing in a foreign object.
Yes.
In your body. And of course kutakuwa na hizo changes with your hormones nini.
True.
And being a teen girl, you're too young for that. Like you're too young for that. Kama watu wakubwa sisi tunaogopa, you know,
I know.
Seeing the consequences that comes with pregnancy. Of it's a beautiful journey, but already na ukifika hiyo time, so unapata kidogo they are really going to that direction without knowing the risks zenye zinakuja nazo. And also you find that wamepata hiyo mimba and hawajakuwa in a position to access the good medical care or rather good medical attention because some of them hide it. Wengine pia unapata they going to try and do abortion. Wana visit quacks, wengine wanadanganyana sijui tumeze madawa, wengine tufanye hivi.
Yes.
So unapata vitu zingine unafanya. Of course kuna ile rate ya abortion yenye inafaa ifanyike, but in Kenya it's illegal. Not unless it ina cause risk to you, to your health, ama to the baby's health. And in this case we should not be talking about teenagers, but those married people, grown ups, wao watu wenye wako ready kupata mimba and all that. So unapata these girls wanadanganyika hapo katikati that they can go do abortion nini. So unapata mzazi hajui, unashtukia unaitiwa mtoto wako mahali. You know your girl imefanyika hivi na hivi na hivi. They also risking themselves. They are at a very high risk of getting infections in their uterus. And ukijipata na hiyo infection nini, kuna ile point yenye utapata now you want to have a baby, you cannot get pregnant.
Yes.
And at this age ni mahali sasa unataka mtoto, probably you're married, the person who was married you doesn't know what happened in your past. So unapata kuna hiyo kidogo conflict in your family. When it comes to men, mimi sijui ni kuwatetea ama ni nini nafanya, but I feel at some point they lack the information, especially these small boys. Sababu you know, in some cases unapata even us who have organizations, tunaenda tuna visit mahali and we only call the girls. We talk to the girls. Majamaa wako huko nje tu wanatembea. Kweli. So wameenda wanatembea huko nje, then now come meet the girl. Ameambia msichana hivi, msichana kidogo amekataa. You know, boys are tempting at some point. Unakuja like we mentioned of peer pressure and issues to do with poverty. This guy offers something. Msichana ana feel, ni mimi nimeambiwa hiyo kitu, huyu hajui kama iko hivyo, sawa, let me chip in. This guy doesn't know. Unapata like kijana wa class 8, form 1, form 2, of course they have ile knowledge, but utapata kuna ile yenye imebakia bado haijasisitizwa. So wanabeba huyo msichana, wanaenda wanafanya that stuff. Wanarudi tena, the guy maisha yake inaendelea vizuri. And unapata msichana amerudi pale kwa wazazi wake. So you find now the parents, the girls, the girl and the baby are struggling. So kidogo na feel the boys have been left out. So ni vizuri right now in this era tukikaa chini with the girls, and even while talking about issues to do with menstruation and all that, to involve the boys. It's okay for the boys to know it's okay to menstruate. It's okay for a girl to feel comfortable around a man, or rather around a boy while menstruating. Si kidogo pad ikianguka au unachukua ni kama ni kitu
unaficha.
Kitambo it used to be seen like a taboo, but right now it's not a taboo. It's okay. It's something very healthy. So ni vizuri men wakue introduced to those topics na wakue informed.
Before we even close, I just want you to educate us. What is the best way to dispose our pads?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, one thing we should know is that we should never ever leave our naeza cover the whole menstrual products. I'm going to concentrate on pads too.
No, it's okay. You take your time.
Okay, so we should never leave our menstrual products open, or rather in the open air. That's after we use them.
Yes.
It's always good to make sure that we dispose them safely. And if ni zile reusable, because we have two types of sanitary towels. Kuna hizo reusable na kuna hizo disposable. So kama ni hizo reusable, collect your how do I call it? Something beautiful. You know, periods are beautiful. That's what we say. Collect your sanitary towel well. Go wash it with clean water. Make it ikuwe safi kabisa. As I said, ni kama tu undergarment. Ianike kwa jua vizuri. So now watu hata wanaogopa sana kuzianika due to watu wenye hawazielewi, like now the men. Jamaa atakuja apate umeanika tu mali yako hapo vizuri, ashanga hizi ni nini? You know? So that's why now we need to bring them in wazielewe. So it's good to wash them vizuri. And I usually say just the same way we don't use our undergarments, we don't wash our undergarments with the toilet soap, but instead with the panga soap ile ya kawaida. You know, sisi tunataka kunukia vizuri, but now hiyo kidogo inatuletea madhara. So it's always good to clean it with a non-toilet soap yenye haina harufu hata kidogo. Clean it with clean water. Hang it kwa sun ikauke vizuri. Then take it back, keep it where you're used to keeping it. For the menstrual cups, pia the same thing. Sterilize it vizuri and keep it safely. For hizi zingine zenye ni disposable, it's always good, how I wish ningekuja na moja ndo we at least demonstrate how to. Unaitoa tu vizuri, wrap it vizuri. Kuna ile karatasi, something I know most girls don't know, ile karatasi yenye huwa tunatoa juu, haufai kuitupa immediately. You should always keep it. Hiyo karatasi itakusaidia after umeitoa, ukishamaliza kuitumia, you wrap it na hiyo karatasi. The good thing is kale kagam, kama umeangalia vizuri huwa hakajakauka. So unairap vizuri nayo and probably kama unaidispose like in Nairobi we're doing it kwa dustbins. Chukua tissue paper ama kitu ingine funga nayo juu tupa hapo.
Yes.
Yeah, that's hiyo itakuwa dispose safely. Kama uko pale ushago usitoe tu and just throw it juu uko home. You know, just toa it, funga vizuri tena. Kuna I believe ushago mingi kuna zile choo
pit lats.
Yes. Enda utupe tu hapo vizuri, wash your hands and you're good to go. Then another thing I haven't mentioned kwa the do's and don'ts, we are not supposed to donch.
What's that?
Unapata most of us tuna feel ni kama hatuyuko wasafi during that process. How we supposed to clean that area. Unapata kuna ule mtu mwenyewe unapaka sabuni kwa vidole, you want to push the vidole up there, uoshe vizuri ndo usikie uko sawa. That's something we are not supposed to.
That is true. Yes.
Menses or not, we are really not supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah, now for the tampons, I think hiyo ndo imebaki. While disposing a tampon, iko na cast string.
Yes.
So you pull it vizuri, ukiwa too comfortable, doesn't matter. Watu wanaipull under different styles.
Yes.
Unapata mtu amejiposition tu vile atafeel kwa comfortable. So it's always good to pull it pole pole tu isikuumize. And for tampons, I usually say just toa tu after isipitishe 5 hours. So pull it tu vizuri, irap tu tena, and just the same way we're disposing the other sanitary towel.
Yes.
The same way we should. Ifiche tu ni mali yako. It's such a beautiful thing. Of course, that should stay private. In as much as tuna advocate for, inafaa ikuwe ni kitu si ya kuficha. But now ukifika ni hiyo stage, hiyo ficha tu. Let no one see ni nini iko carried up ndani.
Yes.
So now you can make that private. But I'm really looking forward to ile stage whereby nikitembea hivi na sanitary towel, I'll feel comfortable, like I'm going to change something. Not that you're showing it off, ama not that you're trying to make it public, but you know that like hiyo case nimekwambia ikianguka mtu anaokota, ni kama ni kitu ni makosa, ni kitu ifai kuonekana. I'm really looking forward to hiyo time yenye ikianguka, you just collect it, walk with it proudly, go change, rudi, feel uko sawa, even around people. So yeah, unapata while you're on your menses, hata ukiwa high school, even sitting next to another girl, you're not even comfortable. Uko unajikunja kunja, unajaribu
sometimes ulikuwa unasema nikiamka
uniangalie. Yeah, ama unatembea mbele ya mtu niko sawa, you know, like you don't feel comfortable about it. So it's something we really need to make it feel okay.
And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing that knowledge. We needed that knowledge. Me and someone else who is watching. Thank you so much for coming and just taking your time and taking us through menstrual hygiene and the rise in teenage pregnancies and how we can avoid, because I know so many people needed that knowledge, Mary. And I want to say I'm proud of you for what you're doing in Build Her Confidence initiative. Mimi sijui mbona hujaniletea shati juu nimeona mashati huko nje. Next time niletewe shati yangu. You're doing a good job. You know, being a founder of something, most of the time I would say you're actually working in your purpose. And you know, you don't know how many girls you're helping. Girls are so vulnerable. Hawajui wataenda wapi. They don't know where to get the knowledge. But now you're here. So I just want you to take your time and tell people how can they find you, just in case anyone wants to have a conversation with you and interact with you. What are your social media handles?
Well, I would start by thanking you first for creating, or rather for bringing this discussion on board. It's a discussion which we really need to do it oftenly. Not only here, but even out there.
True.
It's a discussion which everyone of us can run it through their social media pages, really create campaigns, you know.
Because I've even seen people who are trying to walk around and giving out pads for free to these less fortunate people.
Actually, that's what we're doing. It's
nice.
We're trying to stop the sex for pads. And I said now we have 3 girls from Machakos whom we realized that they are totally vulnerable and are not in a position to afford the sanitary towels. So actually we were bringing the campaign on board, whereby if anyone out there, or rather if any organization out there would love to also support them, because they are not only 3, but the 3 girls are the ones which we identified that hawa kabisa hata wafanye nini hakuna. We also followed it up with the teachers and all that, and we realized there is need. We have visited different places. Of course I said that we are registered in Kibra, but tunazunguka kabisa. Like there is a time we were in Makueni, we also went to Machakos, we were in Kibra, we were in Nairobi. So we are really trying to make sure that we keep these girls safe, and we make sure that these girls are not going for sex because of sanitary products. We have also partnered with a few organizations whereby we are making sure that we give them the sanitary towels for free. Like for instance, just to mention, we have Farida girls who have a pad bank in Mathare. So as at now we're in partnership with them for the 3 girls. But you see, it's a long-term thing, and inafika mahali, because mostly we are depending on well-wishers and friends. Inafika mahali unapata we don't have the sanitary towels too. So we have to go back to our pockets, nini tunajaribu kujikaza, because we still don't want things to happen. Well, BHC is something which is at heart. I started it because of my life story, which probably we can give it some other time. So that's how BHC came around, and I'm glad and I'm proud of us. Actually, we are now a year old.
That's nice.
So I'm so proud of us, of the lives we've touched. And if anyone wants to reach us, our social media handles zote across the board ni Build Her Confidence _initiative. And our website is www.buildherconfidence.org. Rather mtu akiangalia pia the website, our social media handles ziko hapo, ukiziclick tu zitakupeleka to direct to our social media pages.
Girl, may God bless the work of your hands.
Thank you.
Because you're doing a good job. Keep going, don't give up. It's just the beginning. Shikilia hawa wasichana mikono because they need you.
True.
I believe that's why God placed you on this earth.
Then again, the heaviness, the weight it has in me, and also the team behind me. I have a team of like 10. Of like 10 who are already members, and are like 30 volunteers. So tuko hapo tunasukumana. It's such a great team, by the way, and I really appreciate them. And I usually say hii 1 year haingekuwa 1 year without the team. Kabisa, they have been here since day 1. Wamekuwa tu hapa hivi. So I thank God for them. And also thank you so much for bringing this to light. You know, probably kuna ule mtu mwenye atajua BHC through Unfold with Spare. So thank you so much for having us.
And I'm glad I hosted you today.
So
it's been an amazing conversation. God bless you.
Thank you. Be blessed too.
That was Mary Mumo for you. Like we have said, let's learn to have this conversation, because like I always say, knowledge is light. When you're living in ignorance, you're living in darkness. So while you speak, you don't know who you're helping. Young girls need us, young boys need us, and we are the only people who can help them. And Mary has told us about menstrual hygiene. So girls, please, mwenye masikio na atasikia. And also we've talked about teenage pregnancies and how we can avoid them, and why it's very important to have this conversation. Now, what is your story? Are you willing to share with us? Unfold is here for you. How can you reach us? You can either call us, you can text us, or you can email us. And just in case you're willing to, support our content, our till number is 5548597. Until next time, bye.